So I talk about taking care of older people, elderlies, my parents, and before they pass away, my in-laws. And one of the things that I noticed is that towards the end, as you know, the frequency of them going to emergency and to the hospital increases, right? Very obvious. It could be something very minor. They took a fall, and then they could be in there for weeks because it's all kinds of problem comes up. And one of the things that the doctors always do is that when they finally get ready to release the patient, they send you to physical therapy. And at first I didn't think about it. Then I realized that, and now I'm not putting down physical therapists, don't get me wrong. But I noticed that my parents, for example, they're already so weak. They are so weak. How are they going to have energy to do this physical therapy when even I have problems doing them? So usually, after a while, I learned the trick, which is I forego the physical therapy. And then instead, I help them with exactly what I just did. I'll call that the chi therapy. And it actually helped, they actually recover a lot faster. You actually get more energy into the body without forcing them to exert the little energy that they have. So, okay, we're going to continue. And we're going to do some massage now. Starting with the feet, then to the hand, then to the top of the head, okay? All right, so we're going to first massage the top of the feet. All right, now I mentioned that there are 6 energy lines that originate from fingers. There's also 6 energy lines that originated from the toes. The way the Chinese people discover these energy lines is actually pretty amazing. In that it actually started with their understanding of astrology, of how the sun and the moon and the Jupiter, because Jupiter is easy to see. You can actually see that with your naked eye, and so they notice how the constellation of these planets affects the tide on Earth, but they also notice how they affect the human body. Okay, they also affected the human body. So they come up with this idea of energy lines in the body. Of course, in the beginning, it wasn't that complicated, wasn't that sophisticated, but at least at the very minimum, they know that something is highly influenced by the sun, and then something is highly influenced by the moon or the Jupiter. And then eventually they actually discover these 12 energy lines, and each one of them is actually active for 2 hours in a day to make up 24 hours. Pretty amazing stuff. Pretty amazing stuff. So, for example, they go 2-hour cycle, and if I remember correctly, the gallbladder and the liver is 4 hours, and it starts at 11 o'clock. So, I try to sleep before 11 because I want to let my gallbladder and my liver, which has to do with detoxification, to just rest and do the thing, you know. All right, okay, so we're going to work on the 6 energy lines. 5 of them originated from the toe, so there's 5 toes, right? Okay, now, in between the toes, just massage that using maybe the edge of your thumb. So the big one is the beginning of the splint, and the little one is the beginning of the bladder. Okay, so just go in, and some of them hurts more than the others, and some of them might not even hurt. Okay, depending on your body. Okay, so just go back and forth one at a time, one at a time. So get the energy going there, and then now do it on the right hand side, in between the toes, 5 toes. You have 4 lines. Okay. Okay, now we're going to massage the bottom of your feet, starting with what we call the Gushing Spring. Okay, so cover your toes, and then the length of your bottom of your feet 1/3 of the way down. Massage that with your thumb. Okay, massage that with the thumb. This is called a Gushing Spring. This is the one. 5 of them start with the toes. 1 of them actually start here. That's the kidney. Okay, that's the kidney. And now use the knuckle. It's work on it. Okay, and this one is really important. If you have somebody who is either bedridden or that they're confined to the chair, so their feet are not touching the floor anymore, they're not really working on this pressure point, this entry point. This is that one energy point that you can really help them. So last time when my dad was in the emergency, he had a seizure, a mild seizure, but by the time I got to his house, he was running a fever. I seen that before. I have some experience with that, and so I decided that I better call the ambulance, because in the previous time he could ride it out and recover, but I decided to call the ambulance. So he got into the emergency, and then they transferred him to the hospital room. So of course the first night he fell because he insists of going to the bathroom by himself. So when I get there in the morning, because this is we're under quarantine, we can't stay with him all night. So by the time I got there, the nurse says, "Look, we have to tie him down because he's not listening." I said, "You can't tie him down." I said, he has dementia. He's totally functional. He's not crazy. But if you tie him down, he will be crazy. So no, let me talk to him. So I finally managed to convince my dad, "Don't get up, whatever you do, don't get up. Push that button. Get someone else to help you." So the next morning I got there, of course he didn't get up. He behaved just what I did. But he pulled his IV out. Oh man. So finally, the doctor says, "No, we're going to keep him for the day. He's pretty good, but we want to keep him under observation." I said, "No, you're not. I'm taking him home because it's not working for him here." But the problem is that he's too weak, and we have a flight of stairs, so it's not so clear that he could climb the stairs. And but I don't dare to work on him. I don't dare to work on him, doing this chi therapy, because I'm afraid that he might just run around the hospital once he get the energy back. So I didn't dare to work on him at all, and I knew that he was very, very weak. And when I tried to take him to the bathroom, he could hardly walk. And I waited the morning because they weren't sure if they would release him. They wanted to make sure that we have all the facility at home. They wanted to make sure that the nurses would come and all that, because they released. It's all about responsibility. So finally, I managed to get that one sign off that says, "Yeah, you can go home." And now the big question is, can he walk down? Can he walk? They'll take him down to the car. That's not a problem. The problem is that, can he even walk that far to the wheelchair, and can he get up the flight of stairs? So that's when I started working on the Gushing Spring. I didn't dare to work on it before, and I press on it, and he just screamed because it hurts so bad. And I just keep working on it, and it really works. It got him enough energy that we were able to leave the hospital, and that he was able to walk up a flight of stairs. This one really works. Everything I do here is from my own experience, okay? All right, so now put your fingers at the Gushing Spring. We're gonna go up right here. This is the beginning of the splint, okay? Press on that. So if for whatever reason your body swell, retain water, then the splint is where you want to work on, okay? Okay, so this is a splint. There's 3 points. I'll mention that. Now, put your fingers here, go down. Before you hit the heel, you're back to the kidney again. So work on that. Now, for some people, this might not hurt at all. For some people, it hurts like crazy, okay? It varies. And then if it hurts on the left, doesn't mean that it hurts on the right. Okay. Now focus on the ankle. Go down, and this is back to the kidney again. Work on that. This one hurts a little bit for me. Okay. All right. Now back to the ankle again. Measure 4 fingers. Touch the bone. Go down about an inch. This is where all 3 of the yin line meets. So this one is a very good one to work on. This one is the splint, the kidney, and the liver. Okay? Very good. Very good point. All right. Now, we're going to do one more. Follow that piece of bone. It curves. And then right here. Okay? Push into it. This is called the heel spring. This is the spring at the bottom of the heel. Huh? Okay, so these are good energy. These are good energy lines. Okay, now we're going to work on the yang lines because the yang is like the protector for the yin. Okay, so we're going to in the back of the calf and just push in there. This is the bladder line. When we work on the back, remember we were doing the vertical windmill. It's the same energy line. So this one actually helps with constipation. Okay, constipation. So you notice that when I talk about the 12 critical organs, I said that the reproductive organs are not one of the 12 because they're handled by the bladder and the kidneys. So guess what this one does too. Okay, now we're going to work on some another one. So find the tooth dimple, measure 4 fingers down, find a piece of bone in here, and go 1 inch to the left and just push down on it. This is a stomach line, a yang line. Okay, very important. The yang is the protector of the yin. Huh? All right. So in the West, we have this concept of prenatal and postnatal, where natal is where the baby was born, and before the baby was born and after the baby was born. If you borrow the word, then the concept of prenatal and postnatal is actually when the fetus, whether the fetus was even viable. So the fetus is not viable until the 6 yin lines are fully developed, which are the heart, the pericardium, and the lung. Those are the 3 on that goes on the finger. The other 3 that goes from the toe are the kidney, the splint, because that's your immune system, right? That's because that's connected to your what's that called? Lymph node, lymphatic and lymphatic system, and then finally the kidney, the splint, and the liver. So those 6 in the front, they have to be developed before you consider the fetus to be viable. So borrowing the word, we would call that prenatal. Postnatal is when you develop the rest, because until then, the mother can kind of help the fetus. Like the fetus doesn't need a stomach, doesn't need a bladder, doesn't need a gallbladder, right? Doesn't need this intestine, whether it's small or large intestines. So those comes in the back. Okay, those in the back. So basically, the one in the back, the yang, the masculine, is the one that protects the yin, the feminine, or more accurately would be the maternal versus the paternal, sort of like that. Okay, so in the Chinese tradition, when you say bladder, you might say, well, what's so important about the bladder? That's just that's the urine. In the Chinese tradition, not so. Okay, a little bit different. All right, so we continue to work on the right hand side. Gushing Spring, very important. Okay, now use your knuckle, press down on that. We dig deep into it. Okay, the kidney is a second heart. That really gets our circulations going. Okay, now put your fingers on the Gushing Spring. Goes up at the calf area. That's the beginning of the splint. Okay, now come down before you hit the heel. That's back to the liver, kidney again. Okay, very important. Okay, now put your fingers on the ankle. Comes down. It's just straight down. Back to the kidney. Now put your fingers back on the ankle. Measure 4 fingers. Find the bone. Go down 1 inch. This is the 3 yin meet. Or 3 yin lines meets here. So now go up until you hit the heel. Okay, and press on that. And now work on the calf. Okay, that's the bladder line. Okay, now find the tooth dimple. Measure 4 fingers. Touch the bone on the right hand side 1 inch. Work on that. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's done with the earth. Now, before we work on the heaven, we work on the human being, the being. Okay, so center of the palm. The center of the palm is an important one. That's actually part of your pericardium, so that's good for your heart. Okay. And the other side. Okay, now we're going to do one more. Now you see your thumb and your first finger, your index finger, they come together. There's what we call a valley, right? So there's a valley where they come together, a valley. Now you push down but lean on the thumb side. Okay, this is actually a very important point. Some of these points are, if you ever go to acupuncturists, they would do those points first. So this one is called the mouth of the tiger. Huh? Okay, same thing on the other side. Go deep into that valley and then press down, but towards the thumb. Okay, now sit up straight. We're going to do the top. Huh? The top is the heaven. All right. Now open your shoulder, lean back, chins down, and then the fingers, 10 fingers vertical. Okay, just tap it. Okay, so there's a point here called the 100 beat. This is where all 5 of the energy line goes up, and then you just poke it with your hand finger. Okay, so this gets the brain going. Okay. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of sitting meditation because now that we got all our channels unblocked, it's time to bring it home, right? Bring it home. So we do that by doing some breathing exercise, getting the energy going up and down through our primary channel. The one in the back is called the governing, that's a yang. The one in the front is called the conception, or it was up to me, I would have called it gestation. Okay. All right, now, but before we do the breathing exercise, I want to continue with what we did last week, which is to show you how to sit properly and to get some relaxation from just sitting properly. Okay, I'm going to do a little trick. Okay, now we're going to sit with the feet firmly on the ground. If they don't touch the ground, put some pillows. We don't want to be using any muscle now. We just want to use the weight of our body and the structure formed by the bones. Okay, so we sit properly, relax. Now we're going to focus on the spine. Imagine somebody grab the hair on top of your head and pull your spine up as much as you can until it hurts. Pull it up as far as you can. Pull it up. And then relax only slightly. Okay? Don't relax all the way, just slightly. Now open your shoulder and then drop your shoulder. Relax your shoulder. But the 2 energy points now are facing in the front. Now take your forehead and lean back your forehead so the weight of your head is on top of your shoulder. The ears are on top of your shoulder. The back of your neck is touching your collar. Okay? Now take your chin, tuck down your chin so eyes are looking down. Okay? Try to maintain this posture. Now we're going to do 3 deep breaths. We're going to open the mouth slightly. We don't normally open the mouth, okay? We want to close the mouth so that saliva doesn't escape, it doesn't get dried up, because as you practice, practice spiritually, your salivas get purified and they become what the Taoists call J-letter. They're very good for your digestive system and very good for your immune system. But this is the only time when we open the mouth. I want you to blow air through your mouth, very slow, very steady, emptying your stomach. Feel how your stomach is collapsing because your diaphragm is pushing up against your lung. And then now relax, let the air come in through your nostril. And feel how your stomach opens. Relax. One more time. Blow air out through your mouth. Very slow, very steady. And then relax. Let the air come in again. And one more time. Now just relax. And just relax. I don't want you to pay attention to your breathing. Just know that your breathing is enough. Just know that you're breathing. Okay? Now I want you to focus on your spine again. And again, go back, straighten up your spine, open your shoulder, lean back your forehead, and tuck in your chin. And now concentrate on your spine, and now slowly lean back, the entire body lean back. As you lean back, concentrate on how your body feels. And as you lean back, just when you think that you're falling over, you get to this magic point where you feel like you're getting a burst of energy, as if you are now aligned with the universe, as if you are aligned with the magnetic field. You just get this burst of energy, and then your body naturally wants to come back again. So just keep moving back, moving back, moving back. It's as if you're stepping off the cliff, and instead of falling down into the void, you're being suspended. Just keep moving back. Straighten out your spine. Forehead's lean back. Chin's tucked in. Okay? Now try to do that let's do that for 1 minute. Okay? Just play with that. Keep leaning back. Okay? So it's really important. That's why the sitting posture is so important. Okay? The sitting posture is so important that what you want to do is you want to, what we call this sitting is where you emphasize the earth element. You don't want to use any of your muscle. That's why the meditators, they can sit for hours. They can sit for hours because their entire body is supported by its own weight, by the structure, not by the muscle. Okay, so the next time you have a chance to do meditation, focus on your spine. The spine is the most important. Okay, and make sure that the weight of the head is on the shoulder, not like this, so you're not using your neck muscle. Okay, all right.